Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Viewsletter number 46 of our Salty Tribes. And we wanted to hop on and talk about when you're on vacation, are you a overzealous scheduler or thanks for coming, that's all we have this week.
We'll make it brief.
Or are you a fly by the seat of your pants, maybe have a lot of downtime,
Just see where it takes you.
see where life takes you kind of traveler?
Just you even saying that gives me anxiety. I cannot.
I know.
I cannot. I actually know someone.
Do we know someone?
No. I know someone.
Okay.
That is very like, well, let's just drive and then maybe we'll find an interesting town we want to look at and maybe we'll come across some festival, just happenstance, and who knows where we'll want to stay. I'm like, this is sounding like
Your own personal nightmare.
oh my gosh. I can't. Like,
Have you ever done that though?
I cannot.
You've never even done that.
No.
I think if you did it, you would be pleasantly surprised that it can still function.
Even, okay, when we did the Oregon coast,
Yeah.
we had places like, we for sure want to see these things, but we didn't have like set like campgrounds for the night, like how far we were driving for the day. So technically it wasn't planned, but that was even more stressful for me because I was there the whole time like, okay, we could stop here, here, or here.
Yeah.
I need to have options ready to go
Yeah.
for all possibilities. I don't want to just pull into town and like whatever janky RV stop we come across.
You were in an RV. You could literally pulled over anywhere and just slept.
I know, and then, but the other thing is, what if...
That's the whole point of having an RV.
No, what if there
is
was
being
like
spontaneous.
an awesome state campground in the city we were in,
But you were on the
but
highway.
we were like
one.
at Walmart or something. I just can't do it, you guys. And I also have like this huge fear that I'm going to miss something where we're at. Like, I'm gonna go home and look on Instagram and be like, what? That place was on the Oregon coast. We drove right past it and we didn't see it. And who knows? I mean, there's a billion places I want to travel. Who knows when we're going to be back there again?
I know, but you cannot, as much as you schedule it, you cannot hit every single thing on a trip. Like, there will always be something that you missed out on. You
That's
just have
true.
to let it go.
No, can't.
Okay, so that's where we stand. So Stephanie's a scheduler. I am
Control
also a scheduler married to a non-scheduler. Is there a support group for that? Like,
Eric is always like, how about we just be spontaneous? I'm like, the only reason you can be spontaneous is because I have the backup plan.
because if it doesn't work, you know what you can do.
Then I always, like, when you finally decide I'm done driving the RV for the night, I'm like, here we go. These are our options. This is where we can stay.
So I don't like planning. I like
the dreaming.
I like dreaming and researching places, but like when it comes down to the logistics of where are we staying, what's the train schedule, how are we going to get there, like where's the gas, like all that stuff, I don't want to even, I just want to show up, basically. And so that's where the disconnect is, where my voice of scheduling is not heard because, or it's heard, but
It's heard.
pleasantly ignored because my husband, who doesn't mind planning, likes to fly by the seat of his pants. So like when we did the Oregon coast, we had no idea where we were staying every single day. So like we would just drive and we'd go see his buddy and then, okay, we stayed in a hotel and then we would drive to another city. Oh, this city's really pretty. We pulled off. He would call and get a hotel and he'd be like, okay, we can check in our hotel whenever. Because there was always, it's Oregon. There was always something available. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, there was one horrible hotel, but the kids like enjoyed it in that they talk about how horrible that hotel was. Like, we walked in and there was like a lizard like on the wall, and then there was like I told him it was a fruit punch stain, but it might have been a blood stain. I'm not sure on the carpet, but
I cannot. I'm such a control freak.
But on the flip side, so that's how we traveled through Oregon. Every night was a different place, and I would give it a B. For the most part, everything. The experiences were awesome. The hotel, on average, was a B. When we were in Europe, we did the same thing. Matt was like, okay, we're starting in Rome, and we're ending in Venice. And we have these amount of days in between. He's like, what do you want to do? We can drive, we can get a train, we can go down to the Amalfi Coast and then come back. And I just, like, it was almost
whatever you want.
kind of fun to, like, talk about, because our plans evolved while we were there. So, like, what we thought we were going to do, we kind of ended up really loving Rome. So we stayed in Rome a little bit longer because we loved it so much.
Thing. And you're like, you didn't have like a reservation somewhere
No,
else you had to get to.
Our Airbnb was up, and we were like, hey, can we stay another night? She's like, no, somebody else is coming. So we just called and got a hotel. And there were plenty of places to go.
Yeah.
And then, that's steady. That's steady.
No.
Okay. So anyways, and then we were like, okay, let's go to Florence. So we went to Florence. Matt got a hotel literally the same day. The nicest hotel I've ever stayed in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, can we stay here the rest of the time? He's like, no, we have to leave out of Venice in 2 days. And I just was like, so there are happy mistakes that have taught me to kind of pull back.
And more go with the flow.
Yes, because it works out. I always know it works out.
I can't.
You'll never.
I won't. I have to know, if nothing else, we have a place to lay our heads at the end of the day.
That's called an RV. So you have
like with a bathroom.
With a bathroom.
RV has a bathroom.
Yeah. But it's interesting too, because I think depending on where you go, some different places require more planning than others.
Well, that's my other thing is I hate pulling up to a place, like an activity we wanted to do, and they're like, oh, sorry, we just booked up this morning. And if we had just made reservations a couple days before, which almost happened to us in Hawaii, I was like waiting to book our diving with the stingrays, the night swim with the snorkel with the stingrays, and I finally like did it a couple days ahead, and then got a phone call that morning, and they're like, oh, sorry, like we can't accommodate you. And I was like,
even though you did it before?
Like a couple days before, they're like, oh, we filled up. And they're like, and we were towards the end of our trip. We were only going to be there like 2 more days. And then it was this scramble to try and find something else. And everything online was booked. And Eric ended up going into town, and actually, like, we ended up with so
it worked out.
I'm botching my own reasoning here.
No, you're not botching it. It's just developing into what it's supposed to be.
He went into town, and we found a company, and it was actually like an awesome company, and I'm glad we ended up with them. But it could have everyone was booked, everyone else was booked, and it could have very easily ended up, oh well, we're not doing that excursion because I didn't book enough ahead of time.
Depending on your attitude, it can make or break.
Yeah.
When we were in Florence, we were leaving on the train at this time, and so we wanted to do so many things before the train at like 6 o'clock or whatever, and so we planned out our day. We're like, okay, we'll go do the Academia first, which is where the Statue of David is. The line for the Academia was 4 hours long, and I think we talked about this like shortly after, but like Matt was like, if you're willing to pay a little bit more, like you can get in. So we went through one of those tour, whatever, like the audio tours. And we're like, we need to get in immediately. And they're like, well, our English tour is not for 2 hours, but our Spanish tour starts in 15 minutes. And so Matt was like, done.
We'll take it.
So Matt, who speaks Spanish, and then me, and he was like, are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, I just want to see it. I've toured it before, like back in college, so and I can always pull up whatever online to like get information out of it. I just wanted to get inside and to see it.
To do it.
So it was really interesting to have this sweet Spanish lady in our ear, like just blah, 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 blah. And Matt was like, interesting. And he kept like looking at me, and I was like, I have no idea what she is. But that was an experience. And
you have this story to tell.
Yes, we have the story, like we have the footage, and it's something that like is burned in my memory from that trip. So
I was gonna say I'm almost convinced. I'm not.
I'm not trying to convince you.
I know you're not. But yeah, I feel more settled.
Yeah.
If there's a plan.
Yeah.
But that's me. So how do you guys like to travel?
Yeah.
Plan it out or Spanish tour of the David? That's a pretty good story.
I can't wait for us to like do a trip together. And it's gonna be yin and yang, I think. I will let you do everything.
It may be the end of our friendship. Possibly.
Wait, we're friends? Wait.
I thought you were my one.
I am your friend. So, yeah. So whatever you're planning, we know we've got spring break, we've got summer coming up, and we're both kind of in the throes of planning trips for that. But
very
just
in the throes.
If you are a scheduler, remember to relax, and it's gonna work out no matter what. And if you are a relaxed
it's only gonna work out if you have another scheduler in the family. That's the only way it's gonna work out.
All right, I can't win this argument.
Have a great week.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.